If you've ever been enjoying your day and then a random YouTuber told you that the Glock 43 kind of sucks, then go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Welcome back to the Trench Grenade channel. I am your host, the average Glock 43 hater that your mom says that we have at home. Thanks for watching. Guys, the purpose of today's video is we're going to be discussing the Glock 43 as a legitimate carry option in 2025. Now, we're also going to be discussing the Glock 43X in this conversation here today, and it's going to be a little bit of a democracy as I'm going to open some things up to discussion and debate down in the comments below. Now, like I said, we have two guns to discuss today, a Glock 43X and a Glock 43. So at this point in the video, I want to open it up to a debate and a discussion, and I'll explain to you my thoughts throughout the video. Do you think, this is the first debate, do you think in 2025 that the Glock 43 is a legitimate carry option compared to the competition? Now, I'm also going to open that up too. I'll take this out of the shoulder holster, okay? I'm also going to open this up to the Glock 43X. Do you think, so get down below, do you think the Glock 43X and the Glock 43 are a legitimate, objectively speaking, a legitimate good option in 2025 for a concealed carry gun? Now, for this video, we're going to exclude all magazine restrictions and local laws, right? Obviously, you would follow your local laws, allegedly, when carrying a concealed weapon, so do that. But for today's vote, which do you think it is a legitimate carry option? Now, keep in mind some of the competition, okay? The competition will be like the Hellcat, which is a trash gun, okay? The Springfield Hellcat, the SIG P365, the SIG P365 X Macro, and the whole line of guns, which are trash guns. The H&K CC9, which is a trash gun. The FN Reflex, which in my opinion is a trash gun, or more specifically, the real options would be the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, which is a good gun, the Smith & Wesson Shield Original, the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0, or the Ruger RXM, or the Glock 19 Gen 5, Glock 19 Gen 3, Glock 47 or Glock 19X, okay? Those are kind of the guns that we're going to be directly comparing it to. If I missed any legitimate options, let me know, I guess, in the comments down below. But those are kind of the guns, the legitimate guns that, in my opinion anyway, that we're going to be comparing this to, okay? So kind of keep in mind the size and weight differences, the magazine capacity differences, whatever, right, that you want to consider. But with all that being said, hit the like button and let's get into it, okay? Now that we've kind of framed the discussion. So, my history with the Glock 43, okay? Boom. My history with the Glock 43 is when this gun came out, I was in Ukraine, okay? It was 2014 or 2015, and I was in Ukraine, and this gun was all the rage back then. When it came out, you got to think of the time frame. At that time, the go-to gun, I believe, was the Shield or a Glock 19. That was pretty much it, okay? Glock 19 Gen 3 or maybe a Gen 4 at that time, or a Shield, Smith & Wesson Shield. So when the Glock 43 came out, of course, everyone that I was deployed with in Ukraine were like, hey, when we get back, we're all buying one, like straight up. That was the vibe. That was the sentiment about the Glock 43. And when I got back, I loved it so much, I actually ended up buying two of these guns, okay? So I guess spoiler alert here, it's actually not a bad gun, and I actually do love it. And we're going to get into why it's probably not the perfect option, but a good option, okay? So spoiler alert there. But I love the gun so much that I actually ended up buying two. And a matter of fact, what you can see on this gun is it is still outfitted with the original trash, Glock polymer sights, because I just never got around to changing this gun's sights. I only changed the other one to the Trijicon night sights, right? So in 2014, 2015, I ended up liking the gun so much that I got another one. So I, in fact, do own two Glock 43s and one later on in life, now Glock 43X. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Trench, well, why would you buy so many of these things? They conceal very well. Now, that is going to be almost the extent of the good things that this gun has going for it, other than the width. Okay, the width of the gun is a major plus, and the concealability of the gun, because the overall, I guess, length of the gun conceals very well. Now, this is an NSR tactical holster. I've carried with this holster for a long time, as well as with this Galco Classic Light. Okay, you can see kind of, what I got going on here, this old suede holster from Galco. This gun conceals very well, both in a shoulder system and with the NSR tactical holster. Now, outside of the size and weight, where you're lacking and where I cannot really justify carrying it as much as I used to nowadays, is the capacity. Now, the Glock 43, as you probably already know, carries either 6+1 or 7+1, and the Glock 43X carries 10+1 or 15+1. Now, I want to touch on that right now. These magazines, these Shield Arms magazines, you should not, okay, I'm going to pause for a dramatic effect here. You should not trust your life to unless you test your magazines. This magazine has been tested, tried and true. That's why it's loaded up with whatever is in there, either HSD, Hydroshock, whatever. Okay, this magazine works very well. And I have, in fact, changed out the magazine release in this gun. That way it is actually drops free. And some of my Glock OEM magazines, which is what I end up carrying in this Glock 43X, is the Glock OEM magazines as the one that is the first one in the gun. And then the reload magazine is in fact the 15+1, because I only trust OEM magazines, okay? Glock OEM magazines with my life. Now, that's a long tangent to say, basically, in summary, with this gun, well, let me tell you a story first. So in my area, in my local area, we shoot USPSA nights, right? And back in Alaska, we did the same thing. We would do carry gun USPSA night. What that meant is once every 2 weeks, we would shoot carry guns only. And it would be guns just like this. Guys would show up with either a SIG, P365, Glock 43s, Glock 43Xs, whatever, right? And we would do a carry gun only night. That way guys would maintain proficient with their carry guns. Now, what we noticed very quickly, because we would compare times, splits, accuracy for both Steel Challenge night and USPSA night, is we were significantly slower, both due to magazine capacity and accuracy, time it took to get accurate shots on target with our carry guns. We were significantly slower. That, as well as the realization that I can carry a bigger gun relatively easier based on my frame, and I'm not the biggest dude in the world, okay? But based on my frame, at around that time, I guess we're talking 2018, 2019 timeline, I realized that I can carry a mid-sized to full-size gun just as easily and be able to fight a lot better with it, be more accurate, have more bullets, etc. Okay? So that is a very long-winded way of me saying that on paper, the Glock 43 is excellent. It's tiny, carries a reasonable, I will just say Glock 43, referring to both of these guns, okay? Both the 43X and the 43. The Glock 43 on paper is excellent. It's lightweight, it's slim, it conceals very well, it holds a decent amount of bullets. If you get +1 or +2 base pad, you're looking at 7 or 8 rounds, you know, maybe sometimes 9 rounds with the Glock 43, and with the Glock 43X, you're looking at either 10+1 or 15+1. On paper, these guns are excellent, and they conceal very well, they're lightweight, they're comfortable, etc. But on paper, being timed, dry firing, everything, what you're going to notice is you are significantly less accurate. You have very slow follow-up shots as opposed to a mid-sized to full-size gun. And that is why I have largely stopped carrying both the 43 and the 43X, okay? So, with all those things out of the way, what would my advice be? Well, first of all, I'm going to pause here. Are you enjoying the content here on the Trench Grenade channel? I'm enjoying the content, but every time you watch a video, okay, this is you. We'll give another dramatic effect. This is you. You're sitting by, you're enjoying the content, and you're like, man, I really like the Trench Grenade videos. He shows off guns. He talks about actual experience, both in training, competition, whatever, right? And you just enjoy the conversations. Consider joining the Patreon. It's $5 a month. Gets you access to a closed Discord server where you can find buddies to train with, game with, stay up late, and talk about why the Glock 43 is actually kind of based. So do all that. Thank you to my Patreon members for supporting. Now that I've shilled for myself, hit the like button and let's unpause. So where do I see the Glock 43 in 2025? Well, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. But I don't carry it. I would say I probably carry it, I don't know, maybe 5 times or less a month. The vast majority of the time, I either have my Glock 19X or Glock 19 Gen 5 or the Ruger RXM on me, okay? Why? Because they're just as easy for me to carry, and I get a significant amount of ammunition increase in the gun with not very much weight increase and a very minuscule width increase in the gun, okay? So that is basically me saying that I can carry a Glock 19X, a Ruger RXM, which I do in fact love. If you guys have seen the full length review on this gun and the burn down, if you haven't, go check it out. You guys probably already know, but I do in fact, I am a Ruger RXM enjoyer. I believe this gun right here has 4,000 rounds. And what I've discovered is I can carry a mid-size or full-size gun just as easily. I'm more accurate. I have a lot more bullets. So why not do it? So that is why, for the most part, I recommend you guys carry the larger gun. There's really no excuse at this point in time to not carry the larger gun unless you're lazy, okay? Unless you like the aesthetic, you like the small package of the Glock 43, and honestly, there are some days where throwing on the shoulder system under a flannel or under a jacket, shoulder holster system with the Glock 43X or the Glock 43, or throwing the Glock 43 in a belt with the NSR Tactical at 4 o'clock, I mean, it's super comfortable. It's lazy carry, okay? But what I would caution you is don't lie to yourselves. The Glock 43, objectively speaking, is not as good of a gun as a 19X, as a, you know, tricked out saber dagger with, you know, a Surefire and a Holosun 507 comp. It's not as good of a gun as a mid-size or full-size gun. Not even close, okay? Everything is slower. You have to change your grip for the reload more than you would on a standard gun. The recoil impulse is significantly more than that of a mid-size gun like the Ruger RXM, but it's the same form factor as your full-size gun. So if you want to carry a 19 for duty or a Glock 17 for duty or a Glock 47 for duty, 19X, you name it, or carry that the vast majority of the time. But there are times and situations when you simply are lazy carrying and you want a smaller gun that can do, I would say, what's a good number? 90%, 95% of the things that the larger gun can do, then yeah, that is where I would say the Glock 43 is mega based, and you could consider it as a carry option in that case, right? Because even though, yes, you're slightly slower with the splits, with the time, with the accuracy, slightly less accurate, as long as you're still accurate enough to be able to perform with it, and you've tested it on the flat range, and you have reliable magazines, and you've actually tested your Shield magazines if you're going to go that route, and you've tested your Glock OEM magazines, then yeah, send it with the 43. But again, do not lie to yourself. It is not just as good, okay? This is one of the times I'm going to tell you that these guns are just simply not just as good. They are a major compromise, but some of the things you get in comfort and the laziness factor outweigh the, I guess, the lethality, if you want to call it that, the speed and lethality factor of a larger gun, okay? So, with all that being said, guys, do all the YouTube stuff, hit the like button, comment down below your thoughts on the Glock 43 and the 43X. If you've had issues with the Shield Arms magazines, I have several videos on the channel testing these and showing malfunctions, like a lot. 3 or 4, I guess that's a lot today. 3 or 4 videos on the channel testing the Glock 43 X Shield Arms magazines. They are finicky. You have to test yours, okay? So get down below in the comments. Let me know, what are your thoughts on the 43? What are your thoughts on the Shield Arms magazines and the 43X? Would you carry it over something more reasonable like a Ruger RXM, Glock 19, all the guns I've labeled in today's video, Glock 19X? Would you actually carry it? Do you? And let me know. Do you make that? Have you made that decision, or do you actively make the decision to carry a smaller gun maybe during summer months like a Glock 43? Okay. That's a lot of talking. Thanks for being here, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. And until next time, it's going to be Trench Grenade, your average Glock 43 secret fanboy that your mom says that we have at home, signing out. Cheers.